Hi, Matt with etrailer. If you have a 2022 Toyota 4Runner and you're looking for something that's just going to give you a little bit more traction when you're driving in those snowy areas, or you just live in a state that requires you to have chains on hand, then the Titan chain tire chains are going to be a great option for you. So let's check them out. Now we are going to have this on tire size 265/70R17. Now this will fit a variety of other sizes. That's just the size that we have today. And we're going to have this on our rear axle is what the manual recommends. If you're worried about this not fitting your vehicle, you can actually plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the correct one for you. But let's take a closer look at some of the specs of these chains. So the first thing I want to point out is just going to be the material and shape of them. So these are going to be made from a low carbon steel, and what that means is they're just going to be a softer material. So they might not last as long as some of the more premium options out there, but they will provide you more of a smooth ride overall, since they are softer. And something else that's going to provide that smooth ride is the shape of these. Since these do roll and they don't have any hard edges to them, you're not going to feel a lot of bumps with driving on top of these. And along with that, since they are Class S chains, they're going to sit really close and compact to your tire, so you don't have to worry about them making any contact with your suspension. Another thing too is we're going to have this ladder pattern design, and what that ladder pattern is doing for us is giving us more traction when we're stopping and starting. And here at the bottom we are going to have this lever. I'm a big fan of this because with any type of chain like this that doesn't have any sort of extra tensioning mechanism on it, it's going to be really hard to get everything nice and tight the way you want it to be. Now, if you still are having trouble, or just in general, I recommend just using a rubber tensioner. It's going to help take out any slack you have in your chains, but what it more importantly is going to do is when you're driving out on the road and things do loosen up, it's going to keep everything nice and tight. Because the way these work typically is when you're driving down the road, these usually shift, and once they shift, they usually loosen up a bit. So this is just going to give you more peace of mind. Now this isn't going to come with your kit, so you can actually find this on our website. What will come with your kit though is going to be 2 sets of these chains, and you're going to have this bag. This bag is a little bit more light duty. You don't have to really worry about it being destroyed by these chains since they don't have any hard edges, but I still recommend investing in a small tote. And the reason why is since these chains are a little bit more springy, getting them back into this bag is going to be pretty difficult, and a tote's just going to give you more room to work with. In my opinion, like I was saying earlier, I think this is a great option if you're looking mainly for a chain that's going to keep you legal in your state. Now, if you're looking for something that is going to give you a lot more traction for those extreme situations, we have plenty of options on our website of those larger chains with more of a square link design on them. They're going to be just better for a lot of snow and ice situations. Or if you're looking for something for more in between for traction, but you want something that's going to be easier to install that doesn't allow you or doesn't need you to get underneath your vehicle, then the Titan chain assisted tensioning tire chains are great for that too. But again, that is going to be at a more premium price range. So where this one's going to stand out is if you're just trying to stay street legal, or you just need that little bit of extra traction for wherever you're going. Now, we do have a lot of clearance underneath our vehicle, and actually installing these, it wasn't too bad. If you are curious to see what this process looks like though, just stay tuned and we'll walk you through it. To start off the installation, I like to grab some gloves, just make this a little bit easier, and lay out my chain. Now there's a few things I like to check too, and that's going to be making sure we don't have any damages to our links, and we want to make sure this is in the right orientation. So we're going to have these hooks. We want to make sure that is facing up, so it's away from our tire, and then we want to make sure we have access to our lever right here. Once you've checked everything, we can start putting this on. Now, of course, if you're doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home, trying this out, because trying to do this on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard is going to be pretty tricky for the first time. Where you see, I'm just draping this over. We want to make sure it's even. We don't want a fit that's going to hang too low on one side, making contact with our rim. So, once you've kind of spread everything out, make sure you kind of lay these ends where they're going to be a little bit easier for us to reach when we make our connections. And speaking of those connections, we're going to start on the back side. To do this, we're just going to grab the side that has these metal blocks and the side with that open channel or hole in it. You're just going to stick those metal blocks through that channel here. When you do this, you want to make sure you don't get it too tight because that's going to give us an uneven fit. So this might take you a few attempts, but once you're done on this side, just go to the front side. This side's going to be a little bit different. We're still going to stick those blocks through this hole and cinch it down. But instead, we're also going to use this lever to pull on it and make this connection here, where that lever is going to grab back onto that cable. And if you have a lot of excess like we do, we're just going to stick that through this little clip here at the very end, so we don't have this dangling around as we're driving about. And at this point, it's a good point just to really pull on these chains to make sure this feels pretty tight. And right now, I'm really liking this fit. But the fit could be a little bit better, and that's where this rubber tensioner is going to come in hand. You can actually find these on our website if you don't already own some. And like I was talking about earlier, this is going to help you out a lot when you're on the road, so nothing loosens up too much. The way I like to put mine on is in a star pattern. When you do this, you want to make sure these hooks are facing away from your tire just so it doesn't damage anything. And I'm trying to make sure this is dispersed thoroughly across our chains so we don't have any weird fitment issues. Like here at the bottom, I'm probably going to adjust that some too. Once you finish up with this, it's probably a good idea just to make sure you check how it feels on here. So I'm just going to come back through, pull on it some. I think this is doing a really good job. So I'm just going to repeat this whole process on the other side, after which I'm just going to pull forward or back up some just to make sure nothing's shifting too much and we still have a good fit. And if we do, we can take it out for a ride. But that's just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Tecton Chain tire change with roller links on our 2022 Toyota 4Runner. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.